Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Entrepreneurship Unlocked. Today, I am joined by Georgia and Archie from Sundown Music, a production and songwriting duo helping independent artists bring their music to life. They are dropping an album at the end of September that they fully written, produced, mixed, and mastered themselves. And they're also building a business model that's making professional music production affordable for upcoming talent. I'm very, very excited to unpack their journey today with you all. Georgia and Archie, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So, for those that don't know you guys yet, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what Sundown Music is?
Well, we are a duo. It's just the two of us, a two-man band. And we essentially have upcoming artists come in every day of the week. And usually we build a song from scratch with them. Archie is an incredible producer, and I like to say I'm a good songwriter.
Incredible songwriter.
But we chop and change like roles. But yeah, we write and create music for upcoming artists. We do um other things like events and sort of yeah, a
We
few
like
other
to we like to
things.
think of Sundown as an umbrella, and we have lots of various opportunities that we can provide underneath that umbrella. And as you said, we do also create our own music that is imminent.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that's incredible. And these guys were just at Glastonbury Festival last weekend. Tell us a little bit about what that was like. It sounds incredible.
It was a dream.
It was just amazing. And I mean in the UK, like playing Glastonbury,
It's a bucket
it's
list.
like
It's on the bucket list.
yeah, and that was the first time we got to play, so it was just a dream come true. We had like friends and family crying in the audience. It
Yeah,
was like
beautiful.
it was amazing. But yeah, definitely a not a festival for the faint-hearted.
No, I feel like it hasn't quite hit us that we're back yet. I feel
Yeah,
like we're still in Glastonbury mode.
definitely.
That's awesome. I wish I was there to cheer you guys on. It sounds like it was
Aw.
an incredible opportunity and a super fun weekend. All right, so guys, tell me, how did the two of you meet, and what led you guys to form Sundown Music?
Well,
We actually met by one of my friends sending me Georgia's Instagram story because she needed a guitar player like last minute.
like I'm
Like
talking,
last minute.
I was like, I need a guitar player right now, Central London, who's crazy enough to come and do it without knowing any of the songs.
I had about half an hour's notice.
He was
Um,
the only guy.
I wasn't going to do it. My mum told me to do it. Got on the train, learnt the songs with my AirPods, didn't have the guitar with me. Got there, shook her hand, said, "Nice to meet you."
We were like,
And
hi.
then we did a quick run through, played the gig, and then from there,
Well, he was
um,
so good that I was like, right, you're hired for everything. But that was when I was just doing my solo artist project, and Archie was doing like session playing stuff. And then yeah, just formed a friendship from there.
yeah,
And then
I had a studio at one point that was for a temporary amount of time. And Georgia came in for one of those sessions. It was actually the last session I had the studio for. And I was being told that I could have the studio on a permanent basis, but I wasn't really sure that that was kind of meant for me at the time. Georgia came in for the last session and she basically told me I was stupid if I didn't take it. And we ended up taking it together, started
yeah,
running sessions together.
he didn't want to pay like the rental price basically for renting the studio, but obviously a problem shared is a problem halved. So we split the cost of the rent, and we just started. I was like, we basically came up with a model that was um good for upcoming independent artists because that's what I was at the time.
hmm
And we really wanted it to be somewhere that was, easy and approachable for new artists. So we kind of, yeah, once the plan was made that we were going to be renting the studio it was actually only at the weekends.
hmm
Um,
But we made it work. We used other spaces during the week,
yeah,
started to build up our clientele.
yeah. But once that was kind of in motion, then we sort of made a business plan. We got writing down our ideas. We actually went out for dinner and we had like the whole business plan ready to go,
hmm
like and
We,
the Instagram like ready to be launched. And we said we could only order food once
once
we'd
it was
clicked
launched,
go. So we were like starving
we
hungry.
sat there for about an hour and a half, 2 hours before we
Yeah.
ordered anything.
Um,
And Nando's for anyone interested.
Nando's, if anyone knows of it.
Um, and yeah, then we press launch, and the rest is history.
Yeah, that's incredible. So it sounds like Archie's mom was really the catalyst of all this.
Yeah,
Definitely.
sorry, really.
I
Yeah,
love it. And
well,
go ahead, Georgia.
it's always risky, when you see someone's Instagram story like, "Oh, can anyone help me with this?" And you're like, "Oh, can I be bothered to do it? Can I not?" I think like a lesson is that always just take any
Always
opportunity
take
you
a leap of
have.
faith.
Because you never know what's going to happen. Like
Mm,
we now, own this studio together, and we get to do music full time, which is like
it's a
it
dream.
is near impossible.
Mm,
Like to make that happen is such a difficult industry to, have a sustainable career in. And I mean, yeah, we can get more into it, but like it's very hard for upcoming artists or anyone in the industry to sort of find a formula that works consistently rather than like something, oh, you suddenly make loads of money on like a sync deal that comes through, which is like when your song gets used in a TV show or something like that.
mhm.
It's kind of like a short burst of money, but what we are sort of building here, it's like consistently working because, we're building up trust in the community of
Hmm.
artists that know that we're good people to go to, and then, it gets recommended to other people and then
Yeah.
gets recommended to
And
others.
we are, um, again, we can go further into this, but the services that we provide and the kind of packages that we offer mean that, I mean, we've been there ourselves as independent artists. It's hard to, number one, make a living doing music, which is, as George said, near on impossible. But then being an artist yourself, there are costs in making the cost of ma actually making music are
Yeah.
sometimes too much. So the packages that we offer really cater to independent artists because we've been there, um, and we do it in a way where it's affordable, and it's kind of artist first, really.
Yeah, that's great. How is your business model kind of laid out differently from other studios in the area? And how are you making like, professional music production affordable for upcoming artists?
Well, typically, if you go to how it normally works, if you go to a studio, you pay you pay for the time in the studio. So it would be per hour you would be paying for, and then you can also pay for the engineer on top, and then it would be an hourly
Mm.
rate, or you can pay a fixed fee for tracks, which varies. It always varies.
Yeah.
Um, but this is where our business model differs.
I was just gonna add, sorry, excuse me. Um, to be honest, it's quite like a vague area. It's like a grey area
I
in the
think.
music industry, especially for like coming from an artist background. Like you could work with someone as a producer. Like I used to go to, not knowing who they were, like turn up at a guy's house, usually men, because it's a male-dominated field being a music producer. Turn up to like their bedroom. You're like, oh God, I'm turning up to this random person's house. I don't know if they're going to be any good, if they're going to be a weirdo, or you
Mhm.
don't know how it's going to
Yeah.
go. But then on top of that, they don't always disclose how much their production fee is until the track's done. So that's happened to me before where I've gone into a session, loved the song, and then they're like, "Oh, that's 2 grand now for one track." And like that that as a fee, a lot of maybe people listening or like people might not be shocked by that fee because obviously you are crafting a song from scratch for people.
Mhm.
But as an upcoming artist, I didn't have the money to be paying 2 grand per
Especially
track.
when you're unaware that that is what you're going to be
Yeah.
charged.
And
Mhm.
like there are a lot of, studios like Archie was saying that you go in, you pay hourly or like there's a flat fee or you have to hire an engineer and a producer. But we kind of wanted to offer something that was like,
It's a one-stop shop.
yeah, and just upfront about this is what it's going to cost. We're going to break it down into these monthly payments for you so that
Yeah,
um
transparency is
transparency is like a big key for a key thing for us.
Absolutely. And I'm sure that there's tons of, incredible software out there now for, recording artists and things like that that might make, a lot of studios in today's world irrelevant, right? Or maybe they can't move as quickly, or maybe they have too high of an overhead, right? They have too much costs associated with their studio to the point where it's not worth it for artists to come in and record when they can come to somebody like you guys, where they have that one-stop shop. They have all the technology that's needed to actually record a hit single or an entire album.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super interesting. That's been something that I've been talking about with other podcast guests, is just where technology is, where artificial intelligence is, and how it's impacting different industries.
Mhm.
Super interesting stuff. And another thing that I found really interesting, I saw that you guys pretty recently just wrapped up a international tour. So first of all, congratulations on that. Super
Oh, thank
exciting,
you.
really really cool. Any thoughts of taking the business international at some point?
Yes.
Well, funny you should say that, actually.
Um, yeah, well, that's kind of also touching on what you just said about technology and like, there's Spotify just launched like an AI, their first AI
Band.
art band, which is like so
Which
just
actually has the
insane.
name Sundown in
I
the
know, funnily enough, they have the name Sundown in the thing. Not linked to us,
no,
full disclosure.
no.
But I was just gonna say that like the thing that I think makes us unique is that coming in, it's essentially you get a free therapy session out of it. You're like getting to work with two people very closely, and it's sort of the opposite to it being like technology focused. Like, yes, we have really great technology here and equipment, but like a lot of it is comes from the two of us.
Yeah, it's a
Like,
very human experience.
yeah,
We skip out, as you're saying about technology and George is saying about AI. It's something that can really be lost these days in
yeah,
music is the personability of coming in and actually talking through things with real people.
uh-huh,
It's, I mean, studios can be often very sterile experiences and environments where you come in, it's like, right, just you're paying because mostly your time is money, so you're paying for it and you just have to get stuff done. Whereby with us, it's more of a human personal experience.
yeah.
We want to find out about you in order to make the song the best possible.
And I think that's why people like
Mm.
respond well. And I mean, we're fully booked now until like months ahead.
Mhm.
And I think like
Wow.
a lot of artists respond well to, knowing that we really care about them as a person rather than just the product of what
Yeah,
they're
of course. We're
making.
really invested. And to answer your question about taking the studio international, and in relation to having equipment that is these days very portable,
Mm.
um, we are taking the studio essentially on tour, if you want to call it that. Um, and we're starting this year in Edinburgh. So technically
In
that's
Scotland.
not quite international just yet. Um, but we're gonna
The
it is
country.
another
Yeah.
country.
Yeah, different
Um,
country.
we're going to be it's only for a shorter period, but we're going to be going up for a week's time to work with Scottish artists. And the plan next year is to be traveling, hopefully the world,
Mm.
and taking our studio with us and getting to meet new international artists,
Yeah,
which would
I
be
I
amazing.
think because like with like you were saying with technology that it is portable. As long as we have us and like a small amount of equipment, like it means we can sort of pop up in different places and work with artists nearby. And the good thing I will say about technology now, which I would have argued in some ways it's sort of ruining the music industry, but TikTok has been such a help for us for like
Mhm.
finding new clients.
Mm.
And like it's really hard from an artist point of view to promote yourself because who wants to be on this app like listen to my song, like if you're an artist, it's not what you signed up for. Like you're
Yeah.
usually for making music, you want to live in it and like understand it
Hmm.
and perform, but sort of cutting it down to tiny little sections of the song, it's not why we do it.
No.
But like from a business point of view, being able to share what we're doing in the
Hmm.
studio, I think it's really connected with people because we've sort of said like, are you an upcoming artist? Do you find it difficult to get into studios? Is
It's really made us visible essentially to a lot
Yeah,
of upcoming artists who need a space like ours
yeah,
that isn't sterile and isn't extortionate, that can really, if someone, the main goal of starting this was to help people bring their music to life, really. and that can be hard because studios can be quite a daunting thing.
Hmm.
But we really want to make it as accessible and as, I mean, least daunting as possible to come in and turn your ideas into real life music.
So we might be in a city near you soon.
Watch out.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's very exciting. And I think an approach that not a lot of studios would even consider, right? Taking equipment on the road and reaching new artists and having them record, pay you guys obviously for your services while you guys are, touring yourself or visiting different countries. Like that's a really, really creative approach to, driving new business and expanding your clientele. And again, an approach that I don't think other studios have even considered. Um,
Mhm.
so, along with that creative approach comes you guys, a very creative team. But you've also built a business, right? It's not just recording music. It's being an entrepreneur and getting clients and recording and handling all the business side of things. So, how do you guys as artists balance the creative process with the actual demands of entrepreneurship?
That's a great
That's a good
question.
question.
I mean, to be honest, I mean, I think we both love getting our teeth into the business side
Yeah.
of it. Like we're both very,
As much as music is the main goal,
sorry.
um, the fact that we now have something that we can, it's almost essentially like s- I was going to call it a vessel, but something that can just be constantly upgraded. And the
Hmm.
only way that's going to happen is through us making connections or just through emails and getting stuff done.
Yeah, I think
Um,
you have to fall in love with that side of the
yeah.
business as well,
Uh,
because like, yeah, it's creative, but like I love getting on top of the emails, like making sure everything's organized.
Yeah, and also the fact, like they say, pressure makes diamonds. The fact that it's just the two of us, we haven't got anyone to
Yeah,
rely on. If we want something to move, then we have to move it ourselves.
yeah,
So it's really helped us fall in love with the process of number one, starting a business that we're very proud of, and keeping it afloat by finding the time and doing the admin jobs that have actually become they're not. It doesn't feel like a chore. It just feels like something that
yeah.
we have to do in order to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and also we have found like a new model. So like if we're in a session and say like the song's kind of written and Archie usually, not always, but takes over more of the engineering side. So once like I've sat down with the artists, I mean, the business model usually goes, I sit down, do a lot of the they offload onto me while Archie, we see the back of his head. It's like he's
And
like
then it goes
typing away,
ding.
and then it's like, okay, you ready to record? But it's helpful like now that in order to get things done, like kind of when Archie gets locked into like, right, step up to the mic now, the artist is going to record. I can whip the laptop out and carry on with
Mhm,
jobs. So it's like having only two of us in the business means we do have to kind of do multiple jobs like
mhm.
during sessions and like after work hours. So like there are so many benefits to having two people in the
Well, in,
team.
Mm-hmm.
initially starting out, speaking for myself, as in working as a solo producer and songwriter, it would be an artist would come in and it wouldn't be tricky because obviously it's a widely it's done all over the place, but you would have to help write the song, help also be have some
Make them feel comfortable.
rapport with the artist, make them feel comfortable without just showing them my back the whole time.
Yeah.
Um, just kind of doing a lot of jobs at once and still having to be proactive enough to get something finished. Whereby now the dynamic of having Georgia with me is just honestly, I couldn't go back because having three people is just, I mean, way better than just
Yeah. It
like
makes the
Yeah.
creative process
it
easier
helps
as
it
well.
flow.
Like yeah.
And then also being able to delegate and having said admin days, and giving if we have a list of jobs, being able to say, right, I'll do this, Georgia, you can do that.
Yeah.
It helps so much.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
equally as enjoyable.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's no secret that having a great team in place is, one of the biggest drivers for business and business growth overall. Um, and as you guys look to expand the business, we talked about going international, recording with artists, in person, that you may otherwise never have met, right? Which is really cool. And exposing yourself to different genres of music and, and building those different connections that you guys have. One thing that, could come from this, and I definitely want to ask you guys about is, have you guys considered evolving the business down the road into some sort of record label? Being that you connect with so many artists on a daily basis, you're exposed to so many of these individuals. Is there any interest in eventually becoming a record label?
Yes.
Yes. Short answer,
In
yes.
short, like we were talking about being a one-stop shop. So like an artist can come in and they get the package of songwriting, production, mixing, mastering. We now have like such a huge catalog of songs and so many artists that are confused about like how to distribute music, which label to go for, like whether they can even find a label deal. Like
It's so hard to navigate
it's
as
like
independent artist.
so hard, and even understanding rights in music, like
Rights and royalties.
mechanical royalties and like performing royalties. It's such a minefield, and the more we're learning, being this business, the more that we want to be able to share it with the people we're working with. So
I have a place where you can come and get a song recorded and have it polished up with a mix and master. Then with all of everyone that the community we've built since we've started, in terms of getting your song on the radio to the bigger stations, which is, I mean, really helpful as you're growing, playlisting and distribution, just having a place you come here, you make your song, and then instead of then being like, oh, I don't know what the next step is, we can just handle that.
yeah, I think the more we're cultivating relationships in those areas, like we have really good radio plugging, connections, and then um even like PR stuff and all the things that basically make up a label. We think that, I mean, we would like to sort of really have the plan set in stone over the next few years. Like we're like 25, 26. So I think that it's one of those things that we really, really want to have like nailed before we launch it, because we've both had experiences of like I've tried working with a label before and it's like fallen through and it's not quite worked. So it's like a huge goal of ours, but we want to treat it very carefully and have it.
And also
primed.
saying that the steps have already been, the steps are in motion. We are having talks. We're just trying to get everything aligned first before essentially going ahead with it. But that is
The logical next
the
step.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a next step that certainly makes a lot of sense. And I'm sure that you guys, talk to a lot of the artists that come into the studio, and while they are upcoming artists, I'm sure many of them have worked with labels before, and maybe they've had bad experiences, right? And I think that could be, one great way to position yourself as a label, to kind of gather information on, what's going to differentiate you guys and things like that is talking to the people that come in your studio, right? And asking them about their experience with labels, what they would do differently, what they didn't like about the labels they maybe worked with in the past, or what they did like, right? And like, as you guys look forward to the next 2 years, like getting that feedback could be super crucial, and making sure that when you guys are ready to launch the label side of things, that you're doing it in the right way, and in a way that's going to be perceived well by artists, and make you, really position you guys as a label that artists want to work with. So I think that's super cool. So yeah, you guys are artists yourselves, of course, right? In addition to being entrepreneurs with the studio, you have an album coming out at the end of September. Obviously, a very exciting time for both of you. This is an album that you guys wrote, you produced, you mixed, you mastered it yourselves. What's the story behind the album?
Well, it was never a plan of ours to do this album initially. We've been working together for a long time and making music. And I remember it was kind of early days of Sundown when we had first started. And we were having lunch and we basically said, should we just book out a week just to make some music for us? Because at the time we were just every single day working with new artists, and we decided now's time for us. So we booked a weekend, and we went to our other studio. It's a much smaller space at the bottom of George's
This
garden.
was a flat I was living in, and we just used the sort of shed at the bottom of the garden.
Yeah, And so every single day, the objective was to make a new song. Um, and still there was no plan of an album, but we got to the end of that week and we pretty much had an album on our hands. Um, and that's when kind of the ideas started flying and the
Mm.
kind of storyline behind it and the everything came to life really. And we realized that we had enough songs for an album,
Yeah.
that were all in the same world. Um, and yeah,
It
that's where it came from
it was
actually.
it was sort of supposed to be a week of respite from writing so many songs for other artists because we were like, this is amazing, but we haven't got to do anything for us in a while. So we were like, let's just do a week doing what we do best. And Archie and I both have a love for dance music.
Hmm.
Like I grew up going to house and drum and bass raves, so did Archie.
Hmm.
So we sort of, it is predominantly a dance music record, but quite a lot of different
Lots of different
subgenres.
genres, yeah.
Um, and we did the writing week, and I feel like, I mean, the reason we care about it so much is because, well, I mean, obviously artists all care about their music, but every single sound, everything you hear in that track, it came from us and like basically no equipment. We
Hmm.
were using just his laptop and like,
I had a
you know,
laptop and a shitty MIDI keyboard and a
yeah, most of it is like real sounds. Like it will be like out birds from outside and
Mhm.
things like
There
that.
was we like to use a lot of the voice memo on your phone. We would just stick it out the window and hope for the best,
Yeah.
and then that straight in the song just to really give it, a feeling of reality.
Yeah, and like the house that I was living in at the time, it was like a party house. So there's people
It's like
coming
a social
in.
club.
Yeah, it's like people coming in and out all the time. So there's loads of little voice notes of people in the garden, like partying.
Hmm.
So it's like a real piece of our life that was, it's just almost like a time capsule of that
It really
part of our
is.
life.
And I mean, it's my proudest, our proudest work to date, and it's just we can't wait for people to hear it essentially. Um, But as we can go into, we're taking a slightly unconventional, growingly popular approach to how people are going to hear it.
Yeah, yeah. Tell us more about that.
Well, I mean, because like I was saying, we care about this project so much, and we were obviously there firsthand to see how much love and detail went into it. So
Hmm.
we sort of wanted to go against the grain and I mean, I don't even want to say against the grain because like we've really cultivated such an amazing community of um musicians who care so much about the music we're making and everyone in the community. So
Hmm.
we really took the time to build our website and sell the music exclusively via digital download only on the website because I mean back in the day like you used to go into a CD shop and scroll through
Yeah.
CDs and you'd buy it and then
And
you'd
then
own it.
and then you would cherish that record for as long until the next one came out.
Exactly. And we really wanted to sort of replicate that with our online record store.
Yeah. And we want people essentially to take our music in properly
Yeah,
and really listen to it rather than just being able to swipe past it and all that sounds nice. We want you to really invest in us and take the time to really listen to, I mean, the music that we've labored over creating.
yeah. Um, and it also means the more we grow, like as a business, we want the record store to be a hub for like, say if an artist comes in and they're not sure that they want to release it under their artist project, we'll be like, okay, cool, we'll put it on the record store and we all take like a
Hmm,
cut of it. So
interesting.
it's sort of a new venture for us that we think could be really great for art because it's such a shame to see songs go to waste. Sometimes music doesn't fit in an artist's current,
Yeah.
place where they're at with their music.
We hope to be creating a sustainable platform really for the future
Yeah,
of self-released music.
Yeah, I think that's incredible. Definitely, certainly a different approach. I think many artists in today's world are like, how can I get my song on Spotify or Apple Music as quickly as possible, right?
yeah,
But
yeah,
maybe that's not the best approach for everybody, right? You are putting your heart and soul into this, and you guys should be compensated accordingly, right? I think pretty much anyone would agree with that. And there's no secret that the streaming platforms in today's world are kind of robbing artists, right? They're not really getting their fair cut from all the hard work and effort and creativity that they put into their music, it's not necessarily reflected in the money that they're making from Spotify, right? I mean, you can have a song that goes viral on Spotify, has millions and millions of views, and you might get a check for $50 or $100, right? So it's not fair to the artists. And I think that, yeah, the approach that you guys are taking makes sense first and foremost. And I think it's an approach that a lot of artists will take down the road. There's no secret again that we're really at the peak of the streaming era, but things can change, right? And you guys may be one of the first artists that kind of pave this path for future artists, which I think is incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me more, like, do you guys, in terms of promoting the album, do you guys do like events to like listening parties or any kind of events to get people excited about the album or just your brand overall?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, first and foremost, we are a studio, but with all music, there has to be a space for the live element as well.
Hmm.
So we put on a festival last year, which we were the second stage, which was just
Like the
incredible.
second stage of music at the
Yeah,
festival.
and we got
Wow.
to showcase every single person on our lineup was an artist that we have worked with and directly made songs within our studio, which was incredible. It was amazing and a great learning experience for being able to set something like that up. We'd never done it before. Again, it was just the two of us. Um, but the our ongoing events, we have an annual kind of anniversary of our birthday where we showcase our favorite young talent. Um,
Yeah, we had our first birthday artist showcase in February, and it's so nerve-wracking knowing if anyone's going to turn up because obviously on the day of the show, we had done all right on the ticket sales, like they were fine. But
but it
then
wasn't sold
it
out.
wasn't sold out. And then as the day went on, I was refreshing it and it was like do, 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 do,
Yeah.
like going
Mhm.
up and it hit sold out and
And
we were
we
like,
got the numbers back, and the venue capacity at Notting Hill Arts Club is 250 people, and
Wow.
we had 350 people in there.
so it was like there was a queue outside the door and like, we had loads of really great people there for other artists to chat to. So I think the key for us was like making an event that it's not just like come and listen to my music. It's like this
And
is
networking.
beneficial for you to come and network with other people. And like since then, I mean, we've had artists work with other artists or
Yeah, it's amazing to see
yeah,
artists that don't know each other but know us
yeah.
then mingling in the crowd, and
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
So that's definitely something we do want to keep it exclusive and only do a yearly birthday party. I think it builds more traction just like from a business point of view.
But
But then there's the boat
yeah, we have a boat party
coming
that
up.
is going to be coming up. This is exclusive.
Yeah, this is a
Um,
exclusive message here.
this summer to really debut our debut album. We're going to be throwing a party on the Thames on a boat, whereby you buy a ticket and you receive our album. And because it's only out on our website, the people who are going to be on that boat are going to hear it first.
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's so cool. I mean, what an incredible way to, expose people to your music, get people excited. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of awesome content that comes from that as well that you guys can share on
Yeah.
social media. I mean, that
Yeah.
is super cool. I would have, even as a marketer, never thought of doing like a boat party for an album release. But super unique. I mean, that's incredible.
I mean, it
So,
locks people in. They
Yeah, you
can't
can't
they
get out
can't get out the boat. They have to listen to the album.
a life jacket.
I love it. So, to wrap up here a little bit, you guys are up to some really incredible things, as artists, as entrepreneurs. The final question that I have for you guys is, do you guys have a dream artist that you'd like to work with someday?
Oh, that is so good. I feel like our dream artists are going to be very different. Um,
Such a good question.
oh wait, let me actually think about that.
Dream artist. Well, okay, so I could approach this from some different angles. I would love to work with Dr. Dre, just purely because of the plethora of his unlimited catalogue of absolute smash hits.
Yeah.
Um, but in a world where it's more of an artist that we would have in to work with, Don't know. I'd like to work with someone who makes like kind of real similar music to us, like the likes of Lowe or someone like that.
Yeah.
Or Tom Misch. That would be a great session.
I think for me, I would love to pick Ed Sheeran's brain on how he's like got to where he is as a songwriter because like he's written so many, hit songs. I'd love to have Ed Sheeran in for a session. I feel like we'd get along.
Yeah, and John Lennon as well. I'd like to have him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Also, um, I mean, being like a pop girly that I am, I would love to meet Olivia Rodrigo and talk to
Mm,
her about her um uh rise.
yeah. Also, we're very big fans of Jessie J, and we recently met
Oh
her.
yeah, we met Jessie J yesterday.
And if
Crazy.
Jessie J, if you're watching this,
Yeah.
we would love to
Remember
we
us?
would love to get in the room with you though.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Lots of artists that you guys are looking to work with someday. Yeah, any of those would be incredible. Some big names, very exciting. Tell the
Well,
people where they can find you guys online, where they could buy the album, and where they can stay updated with the business as well.
So we are Sundown Studios with two underscores. That's on Instagram and TikTok. Uh,
our website is sundown.music.
yeah, sundown.music.
That's where you can find everything that we're kind of working on and that we have upcoming.
Yeah, and the record store is on there. So yeah, sundown.music is the place to be.
And if you want to get in touch, you
Yeah.
can DM us, you can email us at info@sundown.music, or there's an inquiry form on our website. But we're very accessible, so please get in touch.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, get in touch, guys. Their album comes out at the end of September. If you're an artist looking for production help, if you're looking for a studio to bring your sound to life, Sundown can help you. Their doors are open. And thank you guys again for being here today. You know, you guys have a lot to
Thank
be
you.
excited about. And I'm really excited to hear more about how your guys' journey continues to unfold down the road. And I hope you all enjoyed this episode today with Sundown Music.